pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lee.
Aye.
Morales.
Here.
Childers. Here. Bessler. Here. Owen. Here. Sullivan.
Here.
McGrath. Here.
First up, we have 207's Best Award for School Spirit. We're starting with Maine West. Audrey first.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you David, I don't call him David, DJ. DJ Myers, who is our recipient of 207's Best for School Spirit. So DJ, stand up. And one of the things that I do at Maine West is take pictures at our assemblies and of things at Maine West, and then I put them on a, stay standing. I put them on a slideshow frame in my office and then also on my screensaver. And one of the things that has gotten very irritating, very fun, is that DJ is in almost every one of those pictures. So as I'm typing away on my screen over here, a new picture comes up, and hey, there's DJ. Another picture comes up, there's DJ. So when we decided on DJ as 207's Best for School Spirit, I thought it would be fitting to show you some of the ways that DJ is the epitome of school spirit at Maine West. So here we go. So, like I said, this is DJ. He goes by DJ. I don't think anybody at Maine West knows his name is really David. There he is last year. He is our Maine West warrior, and last year he was at the end of the school year. He was feathered, however, dubbed our warrior in an official ceremony, and it was a really moving thing for DJ. And then what happened was DJ became 6 foot tall. He puts that warrior outfit on, and you can see he's a little short here, but he becomes that warrior. You can't see him that well in this picture, but the arrow shows him in front of our bonfire being the warrior. And then again, there he is. Look at him. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at that. Pretty cool, huh? And what he does is he goes from section to section in the auditorium, in the assemblies, and gets each group to cheer with him. And he gets 2,200 screaming fans just on their feet, and it's just absolutely amazing at Maine West to see when DJ does this. Very, very cool. DJ was also our homecoming king. There he is, right when he was honored with that award. Here he is telling his mom. There he is with the queen, Mallory. But you'll also see that this is in the parade, and he's wearing his warrior outfit while he's the king, because he had to jump out of my car, run and be the warrior, and then get in the drum line. So there he is with his king crown on, with his warrior gear in the drum line, getting ready to be in the drum line. Here's what he is with all of his adoring fans. And then he performed as one of the Guy Poms at halftime. And there he is performing at one of our assemblies in the Guy Poms. There he is practicing in the student cafeteria. There he is in the drum line over to the left there. And notice he has no shoes on because he's got to go be the warrior after that. There he is again. There he is on the cross-country team. There he is on the wrestling team. There he is, well, there's a ping pong team that represents him. He's also on the volleyball team. He was also nominated and a finalist in Mr. Maine West, of course. There he is as an Orchesis member over there to the far left, being a nut. There he is participating as one of the members in our games. He's always picked to be a game participant, and of course he won. There he is, winning. And those are some of the other things that he does at Maine West. He's super involved, crazy dedicated to Maine West. Here he is again as the Maine West warrior, getting everybody on their feet. Again, the 2,200 fans who just think he's absolutely amazing. He bleeds blue and gold. I don't think anybody has more spirit than DJ besides me. And it's just absolutely amazing to see him smile. You say Maine West in front of DJ and he just beams. So from all of us at Maine West, all the 2,200 screaming fans and all the staff, congratulations on that. you tonight and then tell us what your plans are for next year.
This is my mother, Maria Myers, my dad, David Myers, and my girlfriend, Mary Garcia, and I'm attending Oakland for 2 years in the fall, and then I'm going to transfer out to Central Michigan and study IT.
Come on,
Congratulations. Next up, we have Maine South, Sean.
And I'm proud to present Thomas Dieter as our 207's best for school spirit in Maine South. I'm not sure where to start with Tommy, because Tommy, he's sort of like a double, triple threat. He's a fantastic musician, he's an athlete, and he's an incredible student. So Tom, like so many of the people, students we honor here, he's at the top of his class as a senior. He's taken some of our most challenging courses, and at the same time, he's been able to balance that with his music. And it's in fact Mr. Hutter who nominated him for this award for what he does, not only at football games, but throughout the school in his role as being one of our best musicians and involved with our marching band. So a couple things about Tommy. He's an AP Scholar with honors. He's an Illinois State Scholar. He's in National Honor Society. He's a member of our state championship Constitution team. He's a Cook County election clerk, Parkridge soccer referee, baseball umpire, and he's also an inclusion companion at Maine Downs Association for Special Recreation. PE leader, V-Show, comedy trunk, member of Athletic Council. He's an incredible saxophone player. First chair sax in our jazz band and concert band. And he's a section leader, obviously, as well. So he's a fantastic student. He's involved in everything. He's got a great sense of humor. He and Bjorn, after they came back and won the state championship, the Constitution team was standing in the hallway, gave him a thumbs up, hey, how did we do? And he said, oh yeah, we won. And then he and Bjorn reminded me that we made some changes last year. And I said, and they were a little concerned. I said, I'll bet you a year's salary you win the state again next year. And he walked down the hallway, yeah, we won. But your salary would have been nice as well. I made that statement. Great sense of humor. Teachers have fantastic things to say about it. Miss Aubin remarked, his positive energy is expressed not only through his commitment to school spirit, but also through his attitude in all areas in our school. The classroom, the stage, the athletic fields, the hallways. Tommy Dieter's a young man whose optimism and infectious energy, not to mention his impressive collection of bow ties, will lead him to great success in the future. Now that didn't tip me towards Tommy. I have bow ties, but I wear one tonight in honor of him. Mr. Hurley states Tommy's one of the most positive students that I've ever been around in my 16-year career as an educator. Mr. Hutter sums up Tommy this way. As a member of marching band, Tommy's in charge of running a large hawk flag up and down the track at the football games after each touchdown. So he gets a lot of exercise. Beyond being a great student and a fantastic musician, Tommy's an extremely respectful student who proudly represents Maine South. All of his peers look to him to see how to cheer a football game, basketball game, or pep assembly. He brings his positive demeanor to each and every class and can cheer up a whole group with his attitude. I couldn't think of a student who better represents the pride of a Maine South Hawk. What impresses me about Tommy is that I've seen him rise to the occasion several times. I mentioned a little bit about changing our structured Constitution team. He never flinched. He dug in, helped us win another state title, and they'll be off in a week or two to Washington. We tried a new approach welcoming freshmen at Maine South at the start of the school year. Tommy was there on stage, helping to lead the cheers and just welcoming the class of 2018 at that point, 2018. Yes. So at events, Tommy always helps to keep cheers on the right track, which can be a challenge from time to time. And when I think of him, I share the sentiments of so many of our staff and students. You can count on Tommy Dieter, and so many of us do. Thanks, Tom. So who's anticipate you tonight, and what are your plans for next year?
This is my mom, Ann, and my dad, Jim. Next year, I will be attending the University of Kentucky to study computer science and to continue my marching band career.
Awesome. Come on up. Congratulations. Congratulations. Best of luck.
Exactly.
Keep that.
And that leaves just Maine
Just ladies.
West.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to ask Colleen Murphy to stand up, please. Just slid in the door from a softball game and looking a lot better than I was afraid she might with the weather outside. She's a little worried. I said, nope, play the game, but come on over, you'll be good. So Colleen is, you see the smile on her face? Every time you see Colleen, you're going to see that very same smile, whether she's working with her team on the field, on the bench, whether she's in the stands cheering on, #1 fan for every other athletic team in the school, or any number of times I'll go in and do a classroom observation and she'll be working right there, knee to knee with the other people in the group. Just a very, very nice way about her. You've heard me say before a lot of times for 207's Best that there'll be multiple nominations, and actually for this category we had more students overall nominated probably than any other month during the school year. But there was a landslide in terms of people who nominated Colleen, and the thing that was kind of interesting about this, usually there's some collusion. This was not a planned thing. This was like a lot of people, when they saw the email I put out, basically they just thought Colleen is absolutely the first person to come to mind. So, good for you. She's an AP student, again, for 4.22 GPA. She's been in good, respectable AP stuff the last 3 years. Been a 4-year student of German. Has been in photo for 3 years and took some art along the way as well. She's been active in 4 different athletic events. She's played some volleyball, and she's a 3-season athlete in softball, swimming, and basketball. Last year and again this year, her teammates chose her in softball to be the team captain. She was also chosen to be captain for the basketball team, and that has everything to do with her ability to rally, to support, to lift people up, and walk the talk in terms of just all of the things that we want our students to come away with, I think. Swim coach and one of her science teachers, Pete Jacoda, said she's not cared about her own success, but rather the team's. Not only is she involved in sports year-round, but various clubs as well. She truly takes advantage of all Maine East has to offer, and is a great example of what we hope a lot of our students will do. Be involved and be positive and make good choices that represent self and school in the very best way possible. And that's really sort of the Reader's Digest version of what every teacher had to say in terms of comments personally to me or in some information they sent to me. Carol Panusiak, basketball coach, one of our PE teachers, basically summed up her comment. She said her spirit is contagious. She is school spirit. Christy Robbins is a PE teacher, and Colleen is her senior leader in a first period freshman girls PE class. So the moment I read the description for this month's award, Colleen immediately came to mind. She's the epitome of a leader, and her positive attitude is infectious. She's a daily inspiration to the girls in my first period freshman class, and truly makes each lesson fun. Each unit she brings her energy and humor to help the girls become comfortable trying something new. Her natural gifts are in athletics, but she has an uncanny ability to shine even in areas that are not her strengths. During gymnastics and dance, she's eager to get up front, perform along with a group of girls. She helps break the ice and make it fun for all. Not only does she promote participation in phys ed classes, she encourages the girls to get involved in after-school activities as well. Jen Jennis is assistant varsity softball coach and one of our teachers. Colleen's been on varsity softball for 3 years, played softball all 4 years, and she had a lot of really nice things to say, but she said whether it's through her dedication to athletics, involvement in German, Irish, and photo club, participation on the math team, achievement of high honor roll, selection in the National Honor Society her junior senior year, her involvement in numerous church-related capacities, the common theme is that Colleen gives 100% of herself in all areas. She's a mature young lady who's capable of giving and receiving criticism from peers and coaches alike. She takes great pride in doing whatever it takes to help her teammates improve their individual skills, as well as lead her team towards achieving their goals. And finally, Rogelia Cabrera, a German teacher, commented, she's greatly appreciated and respected by her classmates in German class. They would certainly say, Colleen ist wunderbar und klasse. So, whether it's on the playing field or in the classroom, the stands, the way she represents herself in our school is truly classy, a class act. Just the embodiment of Maine East, truly loves the place, and sure is going to do well and will certainly represent us all well. Congratulations. So who's here with you tonight?
This is my mom, Vicky, and my dad, John. Next year, I think I'm going to go to either U of I or UW-Madison to study engineering. So.
Very good. Congratulations. Come on up, Colleen. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations to all of you, and thank you for all the spirit that you provided our schools. At this time, we'd like you to step out in the hall with the principals to get some pictures, and it's also your opportunity to leave, if you so desire, to get into the business part of the meeting now and away from the best part. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Just going right.
Next up is public comments. I don't think there are any. No public? Update from superintendent.
Let's see, a couple of things very quickly. Just want to remind you, we put this in Friday notes, but it's really a cool thing. Hank applied for it and we received a grant from Sprint, the Connect Ed grant, which is going to help us set up wireless hotspots in homes of students who don't have connectivity. It's a big deal. So congratulations to Hank for doing that. What's the total value of that?
It's a lot, because we get 250 hotspots with up to 3 gig of internet per hotspot for 4 years.
And as we've measured, and Hank's done a nice job of measuring and surveying annually what our connectivity is, this will really allow us to pinpoint anywhere where there's a gap to close that connectivity. So as we think about how to be creative, for example, on a weather day where we might want to do some elements of school, having 100% connectivity is a big deal. So really well done there. Just want to remind the board, and we've sent reminders out in Friday notes, but I'm going to say it tonight. The foundation dinner is April 23rd. That is the foundation's big fundraiser. You can register for that online. They have a tab on our front page. In fact, I can have Jenny send the link out for you, but you can register online. And that's always a big event for the foundation. They've done a little better and a little better and a little better. I think this is about the 6th or 7th year that they've had it, and they've gotten just a little better every year.
Can you ask quickly how many people planning to attend?
Generally, most of the board attends that, and historically they've done it. Yeah, I mean, no one's obligated certainly, but I think most in the past, most of our board members have tried to attend if they've been able to. So hopefully everybody will try to make it there, and the cabinet, a lot of cabinet members go, and a lot of the staff go because they support a lot of the teachers, especially. There's a lot of grants for the
So
teachers.
can you just let you know that we'd like to plan or would like to attend? Or we gotta...
How much are tickets?
I
60.
And we gotta go online, you gotta buy them online,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, you'll have to go register online. Each person's got to go and register for that. So, okay, that's everything from the superintendent.
Any updates from board members?
Well, yeah, if we could speak
Who you look at?
together.
Go ahead, Mary.
Well, I just wanted to say what a great job Ken and Barbara did giving a presentation at the National School Board Convention. It was really impressive that you were invited to do that, making the effort to go.
It's certainly educational, very informative, great crowd. This year will be our second year, actually, Mary and myself too, and it educational learning experience and highly recommend to other board members. Next year, I believe it will be held at Boston. You know, anybody who might be interested will go. Again, there's a lot of leadership, general sessions has been really great, very informative, and it sure has been a learning experience for everyone. So just want to say thank you for the opportunity.
Any other comments? Okay, next up we have Buildings and Grounds Committee.
So update on 2 meetings, one was on March 11th, that's to go over the Main West edition, athletic edition, and some adjustments that we made to the overall scope of the program. But bids came in, it was a little bit over the project estimates, so it's now some value add, is what we were calling.
Value engineering.
Yeah, value engineering, to remove some pieces from scope. So remove installation of the rooftop screens, use of PVC in place of cast iron roof drains, change of roofing insulation, eliminate cut-through sidewalks, change in lockers and hinge direction, removal of the replacement of the parking lot lighting, and remove excess soil as a training hill instead of removing it. So Mary recommended accepting alternates 2 and 3 for installation of air conditioner and sprinkler system in the existing spec. So that those, we were happy with that and not recommending. April 3rd, we met to discuss the roof at Main East. So we were presented with the bids, 7 bids were received. The Buildings and Grounds Committee recommended approval of base bid 3 and alternate 1. We'll confer with our kind of scope review of the base and alternate bids prior to approval, which we have. So we recommend approval of the bids at this specific meeting. That's it.
Thank you. Next is the Policy Committee.
Okay, we had a meeting on March 19th, a brief meeting. We are bringing a number of policies for a second reading tonight, and then at the March 19th meeting, we also discussed revisions to the bullying policy to be in compliance with state law. And we are recommending that we waive the first reading on that, and we can answer questions on it when we get to that motion.
All right, and finally, Sean, Finance Committee.
Same day that we had the Buildings and Grounds meeting on April 3rd at 7 a.m., we had a finance meeting. 2 contracts that came before us for discussion. The first one was the school resource officers, the SROs, which from Park Ridge, which are the 2 police officers that are assigned in the schools at both Main South and Main East. We've looked at continuing a 5-year agreement with the police department where the district pays 70% of the salaries, and if a grant is obtained, it will actually reduce an offset against the amount the school pays. Strongly recommended by the committee that we continue this maintenance and security within the buildings. Second item was the auditor appointment. Mary had gone out and gotten a quote on auditor services. They've gone up markedly. While we're in transition year in terms of the computer, the mainframe, and the tracking system, we're maintaining 2 separate sets of financial records. Now is not the time to turn around and necessarily change auditors. So our recommendation is not to enter into a 3-year agreement, but to turn around and take 1 year of the agreement, maintain the Gladry for that 1 year, and Mary would put an RFP on the street to turn around and check prices for other firms before we continue past that. But the recommendation of the committee is to adopt a 1-year agreement.
I just want to quickly add, I did attend as a, finance meeting, so my name should be included on others present by the secretary.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, next up, we have the monthly status of finances.
In your board packet is the February financial statements. We are tracking within budget on both the revenue and expenditure side. One of the things that we'll be doing on the revenue side is the state has announced that they are doing some cost cutting measures for this fiscal year, which will impact us. They're prorating some general state aid and mandated categoricals, so we're working to analyze how much money that will mean in terms of a loss for us. General state aid, they haven't finalized if they're gonna take a flat percentage from everyone, because that's a very different number based on the size of your general state aid, or they'll do a per pupil amount. So once we know that, we can determine the impact. You'll be seeing the same format for the financial statements, at least through the end of the year, and then we'll probably discuss in December some alternate formats now that we have our new financial software system up and running. I will entertain any questions anybody has on the February financial statements.
How was it compared to last year?
So if you look, we do a 3-year bar chart. So at this point of the year, revenues are at 60.9%. Last year we were at 61.9 and 62.3 the previous years. Expenditures were at 58.6%. We were at 58.1 the previous year, so we're tracking very much in line with previous years. We might see some expenditure swings between fiscal years, as we don't know how much of like the Maine West project will pay out, but that'll be a simple timing difference. So if we end up cutting a check in June that we would have budgeted for in July, it'll just be timing between the 2 fiscal years, because those construction projects bridge those fiscal years.
Thank you, Mary. Can I ask in terms of any new styles of reporting or something like that, that the finance committee look at that first, so that.
Right, and that's what we'll do, because we haven't started to even explore how much what type of different reports we can do in the new system. We just got our financial numbers over last week, so.
Okay, well, as you explore, that'd be great if the finance committee could take a look at it first. Next up is instructional service national merit finalists. Ken, I think you did everything.
Yeah, just included as an FYI, annually we report on the number of national merit finalists. It's included in your packet. We have the third highest total we've had in 7 or 8 years.
Item 6, monthly FOIA requests.
3 FOIA requests this month, all have been processed.
Any questions? I have a motion on, actually, you could pull out the, before we do this, anybody else wants to point from the consent agenda, I'd like to pull out the regular board minutes, the regular board meeting minutes of March 2nd for a separate motion.
So I'll move 7A through H with the exception of the March 2nd board meeting minutes.
Second. Thank you. Ms. Carl? Yes. Any questions or comments? Take the roll.
Morales.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Childers.
Aye.
Bessler. Owen.
Aye.
McGrath.
Aye. Okay. Motion on 7A, the regular minutes of the regular board meeting of March 2nd. Second, Paula, thank you. Just the roll, please.
Childers.
Aye.
Bessler. Morales.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
McGrath.
Abstain. Next up is the Board of Education policies and procedures. Greg, if you'd like to.
I move 8A, B,
Oh, sorry.
8A, B, C, D, and E for consideration.
Okay, so second. Okay, all right, so let's turn it over and tell us what the policy changes are and
Sure.
why we're moving.
4 out of the 5 policies were discussed at the last board meeting and also were endorsed by the policy committee. The 5th one, policy 6438, prevention of and response to bullying, intimidation, hazing, and harassment. This is one that the policy called a special meeting for on March 19th to discuss. And we are recommending a revision to that policy in response to changes to state law. So new state law that became effective January 1st, school boards are supposed to have an updated policy on bullying, and it is supposed to incorporate certain things like the definitions and how to file a complaint and those types of things. And so we, the policy committee recommended that we move forward with this policy, which is nearly identical to press policy. However, there's one addition. Press doesn't address hazing per se in their policy on bullying, and that has been something that our board has always had in their, or has had in their policy for the last few years. So the policy committee wanted to maintain that language. So what you're seeing here is pretty much verbatim for the press policy, except we've added our additional language to address hazing as well.
Are there any questions? Comments? Hearing none, Jenny, if you call the roll, please.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Childers.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Bessler. Owen. McGrath.
Aye. Have a motion on item 9, textbook and course fees approval.
So moved.
Second. Okay.
These are the same resources that were brought last month. There was only a couple of resources, or that board member Lee wanted to review, and I sent out in Friday notes how to access those. Other than that, there were no comments received from any of the board members.
Are there any other comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, Judy, please take the
Lee.
Aye.
Childers.
Aye.
Owen. Morales.
Aye.
Bessler. Sullivan.
Aye.
McGrath.
Aye. Have a motion on items 10A through C.
I so move.
Second.
Second. Okay. Any questions or comments about the bids or awarding contracts?
Just want to make clear on 10A, we've gone with base bids.
Correct.
1 and 2 or 1, 2, and 3?
On
1, 2,
A, it's base bid 1. So after the committee meeting, and as noted in the notes, we were gonna check with ARCON. And the combination of base bid 1, base bid 2 with Knickerbocker, and the alternate is cheaper than awarding base bid
Straight to Anthony.
straight to, yes,
Okay.
Anthony. So that is why we made that change. Knickerbocker has also been scope review as the low bidder for base bid 2, and they've met the qualifications.
And alternate 1 was that sheet metal work.
Yes.
Okay. And this was consistent with what the chairperson would be recommending on the next meetings.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
So we will be going with the 2 different contractors.
We will be going with 2 different contractors. The roofs are in 2 different sides of the school.
So Knickerbocker and also
Anthony. And this is the cheapest bid combination.
And again, they are all qualified.
They are qualified. They have both been pre-qualified to bid as well as been thoroughly scope reviewed by ARCON after the bids were received.
This is just a motion on 10A, is that correct?
No, it was A through C.
A through C was my motion.
Okay. Are there any other questions? All right, hearing none, take a roll, please.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Owen. Morales. Lee.
Aye.
Childers. Bessler. McGrath.
I have a motion on item 11, intergovernmental agreement, school resource officer with the city of Parkridge. Okay, thank you.
Just make clear, this is both school resource officers from South and Main East.
And generally, there's one officer assigned.
Per building. Correct.
Just two.
Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, please call the roll, please.
Owen. Childers. Lee.
Aye.
Bessler. Morales. Sullivan. McGrath.
Aye. A motion on item 12, intergovernmental agreement, vision and O&M integration services.
I so move.
All right. Thank you. Pam, can you talk a little about the, this agreement?
Yes, we contract with District 62, who provides the staff to support our students with visual impairments, as well as orientation and mobility training. These are required for their mandated services for their individual educational plans. And it's less costly to do it this way than to provide the services ourselves. We have 29 students who receive the services.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Just one quick question. This covers students at elementary and the high school level?
Yes.
The contract, I think the contract.
The contract is for our students.
Yeah,
Right.
but yes to your question, and
Yes.
this is an example of a shared cost savings that we do with one
It's
of
the
the
same
local elements.
therapists that
Yes,
are doing it.
yes,
And
yes.
there isn't, are they meeting the different qualifications based on the ages of the students and the abilities and things like that?
Yes, as required by law, so yeah, they have the appropriate license.
This is just the intergovernmental agreement. The actual agreement for the services is with District 62.
The employment contract.
Employment, yes.
Yes, okay.
When we dissolved MedStep, this was one of the areas where we tried to keep where it made sense to do an intergovernmental agreement and share costs that could lower the footprint of everybody.
But they're under the supervision of District 62's director, so they're actually, that's what it says in here.
They complete the evaluation and then we contribute.
Of the employees, yeah.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
Just a comment, I'm just glad we're working together with the other districts and feed in, it's a nice example.
Okay. Anything else?
All right, Jenny, come take a look. Sullivan?
Aye.
Lee?
Aye.
Owen?
Aye.
Childers?
Aye.
Bessler? Morales? McGrath.
Aye. A motion on item 13, summer hours for special education and ESL department chairs.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Thank you. Pam, once again, can you tell us about this? I think this is something you see every year.
Yes, this is requested each year by the special education department chairs as well as ELL department chairs. And during this time, there are a lot of records associated, legal records that are associated with these students. The records need to be reviewed, and we have to ensure that the mandated services are provided and ready to go at the beginning of the school year. So this time is dedicated for that. They will keep a log of how they spend their time.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Yes.
Not specifically about how they're getting paid. I understand last year there was a change in where the classes were for the special ed students. Where will they be this year?
Do you mean for the summer school?
Right, we're
Yes.
talking about summer, right?
Yes, we're going to continue the summer school classes at Maine East High School.
And was last year the first year of Maine East?
Yes, it was the first year for a centralized.
Actually, it's
last
not.
year was
It's the first year in a while, but we've in the past done rotation for summer school.
I bring it up because I think there was confusion about families not realizing it was going to be at Maine East, so I was concerned about knowing if it was staying at the same place and whether it was or wasn't. I mean, they've got to go where you think best. Was there going to be enough notice in preparation for the
Yes,
families?
we've always sent home notices by
Well, last year they were
email
quite,
and letters.
there was quite a bit of issue last year.
Okay, we'll make sure.
Do you agree or not? Maybe I got a skewed view.
Okay, I'm not sure. I know that we sent home letters as well.
We had a couple of staff members from other buildings who were not happy about going to that building, and I think that impacted the communication to some of the families.
You didn't tell the families because they didn't want to go to the school?
No, I think they were unhappy that the program was going to be at Ennis instead of the home school where they were used to doing the program. And that impacted some of the communication with them.
What I heard was from families, and that's all
I'm sorry.
I'm not suggesting where you have it, I'm just saying wherever you have it, is there plenty
Make
of
sure
notice?
there's good notice. Yes.
Effective notice.
What's the average student participation expected this
Uh,
summer, possibly, or about?
We're still pulling that together because these IEP meetings continue through the end of the school year. But last year we had around 60 students.
So we should have about average of about or so.
It will probably be similar numbers, yes.
And they are from
All
three
three
schools.
schools.
And are different grades too.
Yes, and what helped us is that we were able to provide more intensity of support and service through our specialists, such as an occupational therapist or a nurse.
This is their extended school year program, and what we've tried to do is run a higher quality program. So it's, I think, from an efficiency standpoint, I think that was a good thing.
I think the families of the district are awfully fortunate to have this program that you're doing. It is so needed.
So quickly, number of teachers who's supporting this 60+ students or so. How many roughly?
Is that really part of this question here? Because this is really just, this is the department chairs who are doing the planning. This really is kind of off top, so, I mean, we can ask them to provide that. This is not actual student contact time, this is more preparation for wrapping up the current school year and being prepared to have all of the services in place. Reviewing all of the student records as opposed to classroom time that this question is for, okay?
Correct, and I'll be glad to provide further information regarding the extended school year, or the summer school.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions about the chairs and the time that they're spending? If not, take the roll, please.
Lee.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Childers.
Aye.
Bessler.
Aye.
Owen. Sullivan. McGrath.
Motion on item 14, new club proposal, weightlifting club at Maine East.
I so moved.
Any questions or comments?
Good thing.
They'll have trainers and stuff there, want to make sure that they are doing this safely. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
Childers. Sullivan. Lee. Bessler. Morales. Owen. McGrath.
All right, we have the calendar. Are there any additions that need to be made to the calendar? I see the board meeting for next week is canceled.
Yes.
You don't need that meeting, all right?
What was it going to be?
In the past, we had a statutory requirement for notifying certain employees when we had a reduction in force.
Oh, okay.
And we don't need that.
Okay.
A good thing. Are there any other items that need to be added to the calendar?
My only request for discussion, and of course, you know, depending on the outcome of today's events, I might not be here for the discussion. However, I would encourage the board to consider a 6 o'clock start for readings. I think it's more conducive to students. It allows them to get home and do their studying, those that bring here, and I think it would actually allow people to get here on with their lives, physical working.
I would agree with that idea. Has it ever been before 7 since you've been on, Sean?
We've had special meetings before, but
Usually like committee meetings beforehand or a special committee of the whole. We used to have those, I mean, 8 years ago, it'd be committees of the whole that started like 5 o'clock. And now here, it meets around a week before we start the regular meeting.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. Well, no matter who's on the board, are you making a motion?
No, I'm bringing a suggestion a month early, so it's not a surprise next month.
Okay, what's the next step if the board likes it?
Well, there's an annual reorganization.
Oh, do it then.
Reorganization, you
we set the dates.
You set
That's
the
right.
dates and the times.
And the times.
That's why I wanted to throw it out there now.
I have an addition to the calendar. Sure. April 15th, the principal's leadership teams from each of our buildings are getting together at Maine West for a full-day workshop, and the kids are going to be leading different leadership type workshops for each other. So it would be really neat if you would happen to be free that day between 8 and 2:30 on April 15th. Come on over to Maine West, we'll direct you to where the kids are and just eavesdrop in on what they're doing. We're reading the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, at each of our buildings, and the kids are going to take different chapters of that and lead some workshops with each other, so it should be kind of neat.
Where do you want us to come?
Just come to the main entrance at Maine West, and they'll direct you to where the kids are at whatever time you get there. Come anytime.
Between 8:30 to?
Between 8 and 2:30.
So you can come and leave.
Yeah, come in and out, and and we'll just tell you, we'll have the agenda at the desk so you can see where the kids are. Between 8 until 2:30. Manny's hosted last year, it was really successful, so we're rotating from each to each school.
Thanks for coming.
Next up, are there any public communications? All right, first CME. Okay, can I have a motion to go into closed session for purposes of review of closed session minutes? Appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, and probable impending or pending litigation.
I'll move 17B, C, and D.
Second.
Second.
Third. All right, let me take a roll, please.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Childers.
Aye.
Bessler. McGrath.
Aye. All right, we're in closed session. Closed session.
Second.
Okay. Judy, take a roll.
Morales.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Bessler. Childers. Owen. Sullivan.
Aye.
McGrath.
Aye. All right, so a motion on 19A through D, personnel action. I'll second. Mary? Okay, any questions or comments?
You said A through D.
A through D, the resignation, retirement.
The personnel.
That is, this is personnel action.
19A through D.
It's different on the.
on line.
Oh.
It says A through
Right.
D.
I'll revise, say 19A through E.
It's actually, per the agenda, it's A through D. The agenda says A through D.
But is it the same items?
When you put it in board docs, in order to group them all together, you have to put a separate category to even group them all together.
So the motion that we're making is A through D.
Correct.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying.
Welcome to the complexity of board docs.
Yeah.
It's hard to work in both.
Any questions? It's been seconded, yes. Any questions? Hearing none, take a roll.
Bessler. Childers. Lee.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
McGrath.
Aye. I have a motion, do we do these together, 20A and B?
I will make a motion for both.
Second.
Second. Okay, this is, Greg, just tell us, I don't know that anyone's been here for this before. This is the,
This is the honorable dismissal.
yes.
So what you're voting on is due to decreases in enrollments, student, course registrations, full-time teachers, part-time teachers coming back full-time. The bottom line is we are overstaffed in certain areas, and these are honorable dismissals where the staff members are being released in an honorable fashion, which means it doesn't necessarily hurt their prospects of getting another job. And it's part of a state required process that we have to follow.
This is actually both, right? It's the reemployment
They're
and
really,
the
yeah,
honorable
two different
dismissal.
subjects.
Yeah, there's
If
two
you
different
want to
topics.
split, I don't have a problem splitting.
No, I just want to make sure it's both of them.
Yeah, the first one, A, is the annual reemployment, all of our non-tenured teachers, on the list, moving them to the next year of employment. And then B is the honorable dismissal notices, which, because we had fewer than 5, meant we did not have to have a public hearing on this topic.
Does they have an age kind of requirement, like retirement age, and within a few years you ask them to do that, or how's that?
The state has a, what they call an honorable dismissal procedure, and it's pretty convoluted. You get placed into a group based on your performance rating, and then once you're placed into a group, you're organized by seniority after that. But it's not based on age or years of experience solely anymore.
Well, and one of these people is already being hired back part-time.
Two of them, actually.
Correct. In other words, a reduction of sports is anytime they go from their full-time status to less than
Right.
full-time.
We have to go through this process.
We have to go through the official process. But you're correct.
It's a legally required process.
Are there any questions or comments in addition? Hearing none, Jamie, if you'll take the roll.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye.
Childers. Lee.
Aye.
Bessler. McGrath.
Aye. 21, I don't see any other items under 21.
I make a motion for 20.
It's other items and there's nothing
I'm
there.
making a motion for nothing.
I think we can accomplish it.
I'll second that.
All right, we don't have to vote on it, so we're all done.
It's unanimous.
Item 22, a motion to approve the closed session meetings from March 2nd.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Any corrections or changes? Comments? Jenny, can you take the roll?
Childers.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Sullivan. Bessler. Lee.
Aye.
Owen. McGrath.
Abstain. Can I have a motion on item 23A, that the Board of Education adopt a resolution regarding the suspension and dismissal of tenured teacher Dana Grichnik?
So moved.
Second. Okay, any questions or comments? Hearing none, if you would take the roll, please.
Bessler. Lee.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Sullivan.
Aye.
Childers.
Aye.
Owen.
Aye.
McGrath.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion on 23B, the general release and settlement agreement.
I've comment before we go there.
All right, stop.
Okay.
Finish.
Okay, a statement before we move on to 23B. The board is considering entering into a settlement agreement with former teacher Shannon Curley. Ms. Curley was terminated by the board in 2011, and her termination was upheld by the Illinois State Board of Education. In 2013, Ms. Curley brought a federal lawsuit against the district alleging discrimination and retaliation. Under the terms of the proposed agreement, Ms. Curley would be prohibited from filing any further legal actions against the district. The pending lawsuit would be dismissed, and she would be precluded from any future employment with the district. In exchange, the district and its insurance carrier would pay Ms. Curley $75,000 and her attorney $75,000. Entering into the agreement would avoid the substantial expense of further litigation and necessity of calling students, former students, and staff to testify at trial, and is in the best interests of all involved. A motion with respect to 23.
I will make a motion for 23B, the general release and settlement agreement with Janet Curley.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, Jenny, please call the roll.
Morales. Lee. Bessler. Owen. Sullivan. Childers. McGrath.
Aye. Motion to adjourn? Second.